Krishna. Thank you all for joining. This is our second session. In the first session, we covered 27 verses of the first chapter, right? In case you remember. Does anyone remember what all we covered? Children are not allowed to speak now. Because you know it. So you want to see whether parents can answer. If they can't answer, then you answer. Okay.
Mainly replacement of
The army.
army.
Yes, correct, correct. And
And how Duryodhana was trying to show how the opposition is down and just
correct,
his side of
correct, correct, correct.
the
Yes. And there was one critical section. Formation, yes. So, okay. So,
Then
Sanjay. Yes, correct. Yes.
I wanted to know whether they have cancelled or they don't want to fight or
Yes, correct.
they will like this.
So his inquiry was kind of
Want it to happen.
Correct. Yes. So every chapter of Bhagavad Gita is divided in small, small sections, groups of verses, and every group relates to a certain topic. So the first chapter, from the first verse till the 10th, 11th verse, relates to the uh, observance by Duryodhan about the battlefield, which he is communicating to Dronacharya. Hmm? So in the first verse, we'll just see it here. So this first verse is which Dhritarashtra speaks, and he asks Sanjay what is happening on the battlefield. So, but his inquiry is a dubious inquiry. So his inquiry is filled with some malified intentions. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. So his inquiry is of some doubt that will the Dharmakshetra Kurukshetra, the place of pilgrimage, have an impact on Duryodhan, right? Which will make Duryodhan give up the Hastinapur as a kingdom, don't have many, not fight in the war and come back. Okay. Why he didn't want that to happen? Throughout his life, he was never accorded the status of a king. He
second fiddle to
Pandu, right? Although he was the eldest, but because he was blind, Vidur told that a blind person cannot become a king. So he was deprived of that authority position, and because of which Pandu, who was the second eldest, was given that. But because Pandu left his body early, that's why Dhritarashtra was given the status of a representative of a king, not the king himself. And that constantly hit him, hurt him on a regular basis because he was not being the considered the king. And then this war was an opportunity for him to defeat the Pandavas and then get the kingdom and be called as the proper king. So he was afraid that Duryodhan may have some kind of peace treaty, give up that kingdom, and he will be considered still as a representative of a king. He didn't want that. So he was afraid. So his inquiry was, what did my sons and Pandu's sons do when they gathered to fight on the battlefield? And we took an example that somebody who expects something else to happen other than the normal discourse will ask such kind of question, right? A few friends meeting up in a restaurant and a friend who doesn't come will ask if he is expecting some terrorist to plant a bomb or something like that, just to take a weird example, that he will ask you, when you went to the restaurant to eat the food, what did you do? What did we do? We ate the food and we came back. What else? But you were expecting something different to happen. That's why this inquiry is done. Verse number 2 onwards till verse number 10. So verse 2 to verse 10, Duryodhan is observing the uh, uh, battlefield. And in the first 5 verses from 2 to 6, he is describing what he sees of the Pandava army. And from 7 till 11, he talks about his own army, his own people. He's describing some prominent warriors. Okay. There was one or two mistakes which Duryodhan did while describing. One was the most crucial mistake, and one was a grammatical technical mistake. Anybody remembers? Okay. Uh, okay. So the technical mistake was,
Else,
yes, the grammar, right? So yes, yes. So he is saying it was not on purpose, it was a mistake from his side. So he says Madarthe Tyaktya Jivitaha. That means in Sanskrit, it means a statement of past tense, which means they have already laid down their lives in the battlefield for me, mad arthe, for me. Whereas the battle has not even been started. But this is the various Vaishnav acharyas who have been great scholars, studied various scriptures. They have commented that it was Saraswati Mata who was speaking from his tongue. Okay, which was indicating that you have already lost the battle. Okay, and that points the reason to that points to his second mistake. Does anybody remember what was the most crucial mistake he did, not just during this 10 verses, but in the whole of Mahabharata? If you can understand this one, then you have understood Bhagavad Gita.
For me, when he went to Krishna
Huh.
to get
His help.
army,
Huh.
so he chose army instead of.
Correct. 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 Yes, that was a crucial mistake. Yes, very much. In this specifically, these 10 verses, what mistake has he done?
Mentioned about everybody, but
Huh.
he has not even single time mentioned about Sri Krishna.
Krishna, exactly. So you see the all the 10 verses. Sorry, one moment. Sajit and Rao, are you able to hear, understand this? You can please interrupt me in case you have any questions. Yeah. Yes. So he has completely ignored the presence and influence of Krishna. He thought, kya banda hai? Na, he will hold a weapon. He will not do anything. Just a charioteer. Kya karega? So that was the mistake. Now, um, when we start studying the subsequent verses, you will see that from today's verse, 28th verse onwards, when Arjun starts speaking the reasons why he doesn't want to fight, okay, you can keep this in memory. What is the position of Arjun, especially at a time when he has spoken of the first four reasons? He has kept his Gandhi bow aside and he has sat down on the chariot and he is saying, Na yotseiti Govindam, I will not fight. From that point onwards, to bring him to the end of Bhagavad Gita, where he says, Nashto moha smrtir labdha, meaning my illusion has been dispelled and my right intelligent memory has been regained. What happens in these 700 verses is the most marvelous scripture that you can ever read on the on this place of earth. And I'm not saying just because I'm teaching Bhagavad Gita, but various acharyas have concluded this one to say that Bhagavad Gita stands tall among every other scripture in the whole world. And this is beyond any man made religion like Hindu, Muslim, Christian, and all that. This is beyond that. So each and every word, the master craftsman of Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna, has spoken, has amazing importance. So we will go as much deep into as much possible. So this is what Duryodhan ignored. Hmm? From verse number 12 to verse number 20, uh, Sanjay speaks about the fantastic. So can you speak about a few signs of victory? The the flag of Hanuman. Very good. The chariot. Of whose chariot? Arjuna's chariot. Arjuna's chariot. Yes. Yes, the four horses were given by, I think, if I'm not wrong, Varun Dev. Then the Pandavas blew their conch shells. Yes, the conch shells were divine conch shells. Yes. The war was being fought on Kurukshetra, which was a Dharma Kshetra. Then Krishna was there. Exactly, Madhav. Yeah, he was on the side of Pandavas. Then the chariot was also given by Agni, right? Then, okay. So from verse 12 to verse 20, these 9 signs of victory have been spoken about. Okay. The objective was Sanjay wanted to indicate to Dhritarashtra, still time has not lost. Okay. Not only this time, when the Krishna displays his Vishwarup and Sanjay, conveys that to Dhritarashtra, at that point of time also, Dhritarashtra is spellbound. He is unable to understand what's happening. Okay. But still, he does not take back his decision. Finally, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, the last verse of Bhagavad Gita, Sanjay says, Yatra Yogeshwara Partha, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shir Vijayor Bhuti Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. It means that wherever there is Shri Krishna, the best of all the mystic yogis, and whenever there is a Arjun, the best archer, victory, morality will continue to exist over there. Yes. If uh, if Duryodhana had chosen Krishna and not the army, would they have won the war? So Krishna was smart. Okay. So Krishna would not let Duryodhan choose himself. So he entered in the army, right? Yeah. So what happened was, since you brought up this point, so Arjun always considered himself, at least until that point of time, a friend and equal of Krishna. Okay. Duryodhan used to consider himself to be superior to even Lord Vishnu also. And so he was like, according to him, the greatest. So he came and sat near the head of Shri Krishna. Arjun came and sat near the feet of Krishna. Why? Because sitting at the feet of somebody is considered to be of lower status. But Arjun never considered himself to be superior to Krishna. Okay. And when Krishna got up, no, Krishna knows everything. So when Krishna got up, he got up in such a manner that he ignored the person on the side. He only focused on somebody who's seated opposite himself at the feet. And he first, meaning, called Arjun's name. And then Duryodhan said, I'm also seated here. Then he looks at him. Now, because of this, what happens? Krishna tells Arjun, both of them come here for the same purpose, to ask help from Krishna. But because Krishna saw Arjun first, Krishna gave him the chance first. But Duryodhan said, no, because I have come first, I should get the first chance. Then Krishna plays one more trick. He says, no, but he is younger to you. Being younger, he gets more right. So he lets Arjun call him first, and removes any possibility of Duryodhan asking Krishna himself for any help. Okay. But Duryodhan did not have the courage to fight the war just because Krishna will fight on his behalf. Duryodhan was feeling highly overconfident because people like Bhishma and Dronacharya were fighting on Kaurav side. Because of these people, he used to think that because they are loyal to Hastinapur and because they are invincible, he will never lose a war. And that confidence Krishna purposely wanted Duryodhan to have, so that he will come on the battlefield, so that he will get an opportunity to vanquish the whole of Hastinapur and the meaning unruly kings. Okay, so then from verse number 21 onwards, uh, again Arjun starts speaking. Okay, so Arjun is first requesting Krishna to Sena Yoru Bhayor Madhye, meaning bring my chariot into the middle of both the armies. Okay. And why? Because he wants to see who has come to fight. And this is the last opportunity to see them. And once the war happens, who you never know who will get killed by whom, when, and how, and all that. So, this is the last opportunity I want to see. He wants to actually see the spirit that they have come with just for a piece of land to fight. And when Krishna brings him, Sanjay Uvacha, when Krishna brings that chariot in between both the armies, purposely Krishna brings that chariot in front of and Drona. So with in front of Bhishma and Drona, he purposely brings it there. Why? Just to make him feel more and more compassionate, so that he will not have the desire to fight the war, because of which will Krishna will get an opportunity to speak Bhagavad Gita. And why this was necessary? Actually, what if you see practically speaking, Krishna could have brought him in front of Duryodhan, okay, purposely ignited his anger more, and then made him fight. His objective was anyway to get rid of all these demoniac kings, right? But we spoke about this. Why? What was the third reason of Krishna's appearance on earth? Yes. What were the other two reasons?
Kill the demons and to save the devotees.
Fantastic. So, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam and dharma samsthapanarthaya. Three reasons why Krishna appears sambhavami yuge yuge every millennium. So, two reasons were anyway going to happen as part of the war: protecting the Pandavas and killing the Kauravas. That is anyway going to happen. But that third reason was not fully done. That third reason was dharma samsthapanarthaya. Now, how does a re-establishment of religion happens? So, by providing knowledge via scriptures, right? And practically speaking, when a religious king like Yudhishthir has been enthroned, okay, then he will also rule with proper religious duties in mind, and he will ensure that everywhere it is peace and happiness.
So to restore
To
the
restore dharma, enthroning of Yudhishthir was necessary, and that was although applicable for that time until Yudhishthir was there, but speaking Bhagavad Gita was for the bigger purpose, for the whole of humanity, for millenniums to come. So,
question.
huh,
So in Bhagavad Gita, we explain, right? It explains how Arjun felt at that point of time during the war. But how was Bhishma and Drona's state of mind, when they saw Arjun in the center of it? Does Bhagavad Gita speak from their viewpoint also?
no, this is spoken in Srimad Bhagavatam, not about Drona, but about Bhishma. So the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the ninth chapter, speaks about that. And more importantly, Bhishma was a very highly intelligent and knowledgeable person. So he understands the purpose behind all of these events. So he was quite sober. He was not influenced by the appearance of so many people gathered to fight, the outcome of that one, the loss of lives and all of that. He was one or many notches higher in terms of an ordinary person. So he knew that all this is organized by the Lord for a bigger and better purpose. So he was quite peaceful and sober.
So he also knew that he is going to pass away in this.
Oh, yes, yes,
And he was
yes.
prepared.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In fact, there is this section, the first canto, ninth chapter in Bhagavatam, which we call as Bhishma Stuti. You, if you happen to read that sometime, you will realize the amazing level of intelligence of Bhishma, amazing level of knowledge of Bhishma, and he knew that very much. So basically he had received this boon from his father that he will die as per his wish. He can choose the time of death. So because of that, he knew when to die. And you may have heard Vishnu Sahasranam, right? So many people speak regularly, right? Do you know who spoke, who is the creator of Vishnu Sahasranam? Gargavan. Okay, anyone else?
Krishna.
No, Vishnu Sahasranam is spoken by a devotee of Vishnu. That is Bhishma himself. Huh? Yeah. So, Bhishma gave huge amount of knowledge to Yudhishthir and other Pandavas also after the war. You can imagine a person who has been shot with number of arrows, still sleeping, but speaking so nicely about various aspects of the Lord and devotional service. So he spoke about Varnashram Dharma also. He spoke about the duties of various householders or sannyasis or brahmanas and kshatriyas and all of that. He even spoke about the topic of after the death of a certain person, for the first 10 days, what are the people, the family members supposed to do? To that level, he has spoken. So that was his knowledge level. So he was very well composed in the battlefield. Dronacharya was also quite highly knowledgeable, intelligent person.
At that time only Bhishma spoke.
Vishnu Sahasranam. Yeah.
Why did Drona be unfair in the battle? Like doing one more everyone unlike Abhimanyu. Like why did they do that?
So certain mistakes have happened by them also, which is not right. And that's the reason Krishna ensures punishment is given to people. So we are going to start with a new section of the first chapter. This section, until the end of the chapter, Arjun speaks 4 reasons why he does not want to fight. And Arjun speaks of one more reason, the fifth reason, in the first 7-8 verses of second chapter. And that is when the famous verse comes in, Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. He surrenders to Krishna. I am your disciple, you are my guru, please instruct me. Okay, that is where he speaks about his fifth reason. So we are going to study these 4 reasons, and if time permits, the fifth reason also today. Before we start today's session, any question that comes up in your mind which needs to be answered? Nothing? Okay. One small request to everybody. Please try to be on time. And also, meaning one question, like various times we are recommended by a friend or colleague to watch a movie or to read a book, right? We don't know anything about it before we start watching or reading, but we start it because of somebody's recommendation, right? But if you don't like that movie or the book, you may stop reading it, possible, right? But when do you decide that this book is not of my taste? At least up till a few pages, maybe 20, 50 pages, or if it is a movie, then up till probably 1 hour or interval or something like that, right? 20 minutes is a bit too low.
It's 1.5 hours.
But uh, in Bhagavad Gita, before we start off this, I just would like to request you all. The first chapter only sets up the stage, the scene, why Krishna spoke. Otherwise, if you ignore the first chapter, you will not realize, अरे क्या है, मैंने कृष्णा अर्जुन को बोल रहा है फाइट करो फाइट करो फाइट करो. What is the question of fight? Where is the question of scriptural knowledge and the fight coming into picture? So Mahabharat and especially the first chapter cannot be removed from Bhagavad Gita, otherwise the foundational knowledge will be lost. If you ignore the first chapter for a moment at least, okay, I would suggest that if you have just 20 minutes, as she is saying, then at least be regular until we finish the second chapter. Second chapter is considered to be the summary of whole Bhagavad Gita. So if you think, अरे यार क्या nonsense बात कर रहा है Krishna, you may take a decision, but at least wait until the second chapter. And if you think, ha, it makes sense, okay, then I would suggest please reach until at least the 11th verse of the 10th chapter. That is when Krishna speaks Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. Huh? Then you will make complete sense of what Krishna is speaking. Please don't come to that conclusion ये कुछ मजा नहीं आ रहा है before that. I guarantee you, and if you want, I can write with my blood and give that paper to you, that you will never get that feeling कि ये nonsense है करके. Each and every of your question related to spiritual knowledge will get answered in the whole of Bhagavad Gita. There will not remain a single question which will not get answered. So इतना ही रिक्वेस्ट है मेरा कि आप ब्रेक मत करो इसको बीच में. You can meaning after you finish 11th chapter of 10th verse, give me all the curses that you can. If you really feel your time has got wasted, I won't even mind monetarily compensating as well for you, but I guarantee you that you will like it. Please don't stop. Okay, and as much possible, please try to be on time. And one last request, the way I did a recap of today's or last session, next time onwards, you do the recap. Okay. So that will make it more interesting for you and it will reinforce that knowledge within you. Okay. So let's start the 20th verse. So we've taken that all. One moment, and let me just ask. Um, Rao, Sajid, is everything okay? You have any questions?
Nothing, Sachin. Continue, please.
No questions. Thank
Oh,
you.
yes. Oh, yeah, yeah. Thanks so much. Sorry, Rao, Sajid, all okay? I was not able to hear you.
Yeah.
All
All
okay,
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 Sachin.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thanks. You can interrupt me anytime you want. You have a question, yeah?
No problem.
Okay. So let's read the translation of verse 28. Who will read? Okay, we'll start from there. Okay, fine. Let's start. He raised his.
My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up.
Okay, so verse 28 till 30, Arjun speaks his first reason. The reason is, okay, we'll go through that. Okay, so what he's first talking about is that his physical
discomfort,
yes,
anxiety.
yeah. So in this verse he speaks about two symptoms, and in the next verse he talks about four symptoms that his body is experiencing because of compassion and grief. Compassion because he knows they will get killed, or if not they, somebody in their side will get killed, and that is generating compassion in Arjun. And grief is because the killing will be a loss for the family, it will be loss for the whole dynasty also. Okay, so the first symptom that he is talking about is the limbs of my body are quivering. So we realize, right, sometimes when we are very much scared, हाथ थरथरने लगते हैं, right? So that's what he is experiencing, and mouth is drying up. कभी कभी मुंह सूख जाता है अंदर से, right? So this is precisely what he is experiencing.
Stress.
Yeah, stress also, correct. So I will be going at this particular speed. In case you want me to go faster or slower, please let me know. These verses, I have started writing kind of a document on the whole of Bhagavad Gita. on these each and every verse, I have written at least 15 to 20 pages worth information. Okay, which will be too much deep for me to go in this class, but it will be too fast also if I just try to cover one chapter in every class. The objective is that you understand and interest is developed among yourself to understand deeper aspect of Bhagavad Gita. So I will vary my speed according to your requirements. Then in the 29th verse, yes, do you want to read or you want her to read? You want to read?
My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on the end. My bow
Gandhi.
is slipping from my hand and my skin is burning.
Yeah, nice, very nice. So four more symptoms Arjun talks about. The first one is body is trembling, right? Second one is hair is tangling. We see that the Roma Harsha, right? And my bow is Gandhi is slipping, okay, from my hand. My skin is burning. कभी कभी जलन हो जाती है body में, right? अभी हमारे जलन होती है, it is only because of envy, but हाँ, तो अभी ज्यादातर लोगों में envy के वजह से होता है, right? And Gandhi was sleeping. Okay, it is too meaning if you look at it कि हाँ पसीना आ गया इसके लिए छूट गया क्या बड़ी बात है, but there is a big reason behind this one. Okay, so one day there was, I forgot that exact incident, but Arjun took a vow that anybody who asks Arjun in an insulting manner, of course, to keep the Gandhi away. It's not worth it, or he is not eligible to hold. Arjun will kill that person. He took a vow. So अगर लेट फॉर एक्चुअल टू मी और अभिनीर और टू एनीबडी कह रहे क्या कंप्यूटर पे काम कर रहा है, चल रख दे बाजू में, which is a kind of an insult, right? We are people in IT, we are supposed to work. So either we are not eligible to work on it, or that computer is not eligible to have us work on it. And both ways, Gandhi ka apman Arjun used to consider it personally, and Arjun ka apman, because of his prowess and strength, he used to take it very seriously. So he took that vow. So one day, what happened? Meaning, why this is important to know. So during the war, Bhishma was kind of eliminated from the battlefield. So he was lying on the bed of arrows, and Karna had become okay. Dronacharya was also eliminated, and then Karna, I think on the 13th day, yes, on the 13th day, Karna became the chief commander of Kaurava army. And Karna had given a promise to Kunti that her 5 sons will remain alive. He did not say that whether Arjun or himself, either of them will remain alive. So he had decided that he will not kill Arjun, Yudhishthir, Bhim, Nakul, and Sahadev. But between him and Arjun, he said whoever wins will remain alive. So a one-to-one battle between him and Yudhishthir happened on one of these days after the 13th day. And Karna badly defeated Yudhishthir to the extent that his various arrows were shot at his body and it was bleeding from various sides. And so much that his charioteer then took the chariot away and brought him into the camp so that he can be treated upon. When Arjun came to know about this one, he immediately left the battlefield and came to see Yudhishthir how he is. The moment Arjun stood in front of Yudhishthir, Yudhishthir asked him, "Did you kill Karna?" And Arjun said, "No, I have not." Then Yudhishthir scolded him, "Why did you come in front of me?" So, no, I came to know because I came to see you because I heard that you are badly injured. So Yudhishthir, who generally does not become angry, became angry on Arjun that time, and he said that this Gandhi, you should throw it away. It's not worth it. Now this was a big insult for Arjun, and he had taken a vow to kill the person. Now what to do? So, do you know this incident? No? Do you know who saved them from this incident?
Was it Krishna?
Yes, exactly. So now Arjun is in a dilemma what to do. Can't kill because he's elder brother, but cannot avoid killing because he has taken a vow. Then again, like in many situations, Krishna came to their rescue. And Krishna said that uh, insulting an elder is equivalent to killing that person. So he says that you insult your brother, and then that will be equivalent to killing. So Arjun then he speaks some of the harshest words to insult Yudhishthir, and then uh, it was like he is fulfilling his vow. Now insult has been done, and insulting an elder is not right. So the immediately he fell to Yudhishthira's feet and asked for forgiveness. But Yudhishthir told him that when you insult an elder, ideally you should commit a suicide or you should get killed. Now this is another dilemma. Again, Krishna comes to save them. Krishna says, appreciating oneself in front of an elder is equivalent to killing oneself. So he says, you appreciate yourself in front of Yudhishthir, and that will be like committing suicide. And then he appreciates, I am the greatest of the archers, this, that, and all that. And then that matter was resolved.
Something that the something but if others is not good. So you should do this yourself.
Yeah, so it was more of a adjustment to the situation. This is not like when you insult, you have to appreciate your oneself and all that. It is not supposed to be applied on a regular basis. It is a kind of an exceptional circumstance, but it teaches us something, that elders are to be respected, right? And this is the learning that we should take from the incident. So that is what makes that statement about how Gandiva is slipping from my hand important.
So, Karnataka.
Okay, we'll come to that later. Yeah. Well, we will reach to that. So when Arjun says Gandiva is slipping from my hand, it means something. If I were to say, अरे मेरे हाथ से मोबाइल गिर रहा है तो क्या बड़ी बात है? But Gandiva is not like that. So we'll. Huh.
When spoken by Krishna, so that is why they took it seriously. But otherwise, changing rules or breaking like promises and finding a loophole, it's not a loophole, but doesn't that reflect the the gravity of the
Yes,
promise?
yes, yes, definitely. You're absolutely right. And that is the reason why this is considered to be applied only in exceptional circumstance. For example, let's take our own personal stuff, right? We don't we don't teach our children to lie, right? But there are times wherein lying is done for the benefit of the other person, right?
Yesterday, I was just discussing what my son
Huh.
spoke yesterday
Huh.
night on that chapter.
Huh.
So this is the question he asked.
Hmm.
The lying is taught by me not to lie.
Correct.
But there are some places to not to disturb or affect the next person. Like they are sick for something to tell the actual truth.
Correct.
There is a chapter that we shouldn't.
Correct.
I have to teach that you have to.
You have to
lie.
speak truth. You have to lie for the benefit of. Correct. Correct. So precisely. So basically, the gravity of the situation is very much important. And that is the reason why the rules made by the scriptures are to be followed regularly. But there are times when, on a practical basis, it becomes absolutely impossible. And if you follow the rule, then you are going to cause more harm to either the situation or the person. Hence, one small example I'll give you. There was a Brahmin who, for whatever background he had taken a vow to never lie. He will always speak the truth. Okay. One day, what happened was, there was a cow who was being followed up by some butchers, and this butchers are animals. Hmm? So this guy came to this Brahman and asked him, "Did you see the cow? Where did it go?" He said, "Yes, it went to so and so direction." And then the Shastra says that because he conveyed this, he was one of the causes of the cow getting killed by that person.
So it gives him
Yeah. And because of which he had to suffer. This is mentioned in the Shastra. Now, Shastra, which means was expecting him to lie. So if you do not lie in such scenarios, you're going to become the cause of somebody's death. And that is meaning, okay, death is anyway going to happen. But because of this one, that other person will also get karma of killing a cow. Meaning, of course, he would have anyway killed her. But the point is, you are becoming one of the instruments in him to carry out that action. And that is the reason it is expected that you take actions based on something which carries higher level benefit, something like that. Now, why did Krishna do that? It's because had Arjun been killed, the probability of Pandav winning was less. Had Yudhishthir been killed, the enthronement of Yudhishthir to provide a bigger benefit to the society, that it is being ruled by a very fair and dharmic king, would have been reduced. So to ensure that a bigger benefit to the society is achieved, these kind of small adjustments are necessary. Now we'll read verse number 30. Yes.
I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon.
Yes. So now he comes to the conclusion that he is saying that I do not want to fight the war, because this first reason that he exposes is saying I cannot stand here. I cannot fight the war. Okay. And he is saying it is only going to cause misfortune. Now, his assessment of the battle is, at least at that point of time, is people have gathered, they are ready to fight, they do not know what is good, what is bad, they will kill each other, and killing each other will cause misfortune to the society. So, this is what he is saying. Now, interestingly, he is using the word, the name Keshav for Krishna. So, Keshav, anybody knows what Keshav means?
Killer of the Keshi demon?
Yes. Who was Keshi? The horse demon, right? So a demon in the form of horse had come, and before to Vrindavan, before Krishna departed from Mathura. I think that was the second last Leela Krishna performed before he departed from Mathura. And he killed Keshi, and that's why he got the name Keshav. Hmm. So why Arjun is taking this particular name? Because he is saying that as the killer of a demon Keshi, you also please kill these doubts that have come to my mind. Hmm. So beautiful, all of these names that Krishna speaks to about for Arjun, or Arjun speaks for Krishna, they have a contextual meaning, and we will go through all of them. Now, from verse 31 to 35, the second reason, which we name it as loss of enjoyment, is being spoken, okay, by Arjun. So, who, yeah, please, Mataji, you want to read?
I will not see.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
This is okay.
I did not see how any good can come from killing my own
Kinsmen.
Krishnan,
Inspector.
Krishnan into in the battle.
No.
Not and my dear Krishna, desire any subhuman victory, kingdom of happiness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So now he is thinking from the perspective of the happiness that gets comes out of a war. So when you fight a war, what generally happens? You win. Yeah, generally meaning whenever it does. So when you win, you can get the whole kingdom of the other king. You can get the wealth. Okay, sometimes you can get their daughters in marriage or whatever. Right. So now he is saying, if I do get all of this, it will be at the expense of my own people. And that he explicitly talks about in the subsequent verses. So he is saying all of these people will get killed. Now, if I want to enjoy my kingdom and if I'm alone completely, not a single relative exists, whom will I enjoy this with? Whom will I share this with? If nobody exists, nobody is alive. So he is saying, Nacha Shreya. Shreya, there are two types of good. One good is a short term good, which is called as Shreya. And one is a long term good, which is called as Shreya. Okay. So, generally, when you have a myopic view, you would consider a short term view to be a long term view. But when you have the scriptural knowledge as your foundation, you would know actually what is long term and what is short term, right? So people, many times people lie, right? People think, ah, झूठ बोला है, अभी 100 dirham कमा लिया इससे, या some benefit मिल गया, right? So they are thinking that this small money or small benefit, whatever they can generate out of that lie, is great. मुझे ये मिल गया था, तो according to them there is nothing that happens beyond the lie, right? If they were told by somebody, let's say there is an astrologer seated just beside him and telling him real time update दे रहा है उसको, तुमने lie बोला, तुम्हारा stars ऐसा change हो गया and अभी this action, this karma result is going to come to you. जब उसको ये पता चलेगा, then he will understand the mistake of lying. But because he thinks that there is nothing that happens beyond the lie, he thinks lying is okay because he does not know the after effects of lie. So for him, the end of lie is when he gets the material benefit out of that lie, right? But इधर अर्जुन बोल रहा है कि after the win also, after the war is over, after I win it, after I get the kingdom, there is still no benefit for me. So अर्जुन काफी दूर तक सोच रहा है, okay? But इसमें प्रॉब्लम क्या है? Anybody knows in this statement? Is this a perfect statement? Why? So 50% probability is correct. So what is the problem here? What has Arjun miscalculated because of which he thinks इसमें कोई benefit नहीं है?
Life, which is just, yeah, that current life.
Current life, but more importantly, he is talking at the bodily level.
Body.
He's not
Okay.
looking at the big picture.
Correct,
and
correct.
what will do
I think
affect,
he's missing out on the part that if the war happens, they will balance karma.
That will balance dharma. Very nice, very nice. Yes, so balancing dharma or basically re-establishing dharma is very important. And more importantly, if as we go forward in the second chapter, you will realize when Krishna starts speaking that all these reasons that Arjun is talking about is at the level of the body, not at the level of the soul. And when we go deeper into the philosophy, then you will understand, and then you will be able to cross-link that with Arjun's statements here. Okay. Now the next 4 verses are together. So, okay, so who will read this? Yes, please.
O Govinda, of what avail to us our kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers in law, grandsons, brothers in law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will be derived from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So these statements, they summarize Arjun's viewpoint. So Arjun is thinking we are not going to get any enjoyment, complete loss of enjoyment, right? So if I do not benefit out of any action, why will I perform the action? That is his thought process. So he is thinking that when you win and you get the kingdom, if you do not have any probability of any enjoyment, then that victory is useless. That is what he is thinking, right? So what he is saying, oh Govinda, there is no benefit of getting that kingdom, not just in this life, but even in the next life also. So he has gone to even that extent also to think about it. Why? Because these victory will actually be the will be serving the purpose of some of my relatives, but they themselves wouldn't exist. And he's specifically talking about Bhishma and Dronacharya here. Huh? And he's saying because they themselves are not going to exist, my teachers, fathers, sons, everybody is not going to exist. This is absolutely of no benefit. Okay. And why should I kill them? Okay. And even if they were to kill me, I'm okay. Okay. Now, this particular statement becomes even more stronger in the second chapter when he speaks about it. He say at that time he says, if they were to kill me, even if I'm unarmed, it is still okay. But I do not want to kill them. Okay. And then meaning, and now in exchange of three worlds, and this he repeats in the second chapter again to say that even if I were to get um, unlimited prosperity and complete power on the heavenly planets also, still I do not wish to fight with them, kill them, and earn this kingdom. That is what he's saying, and he's not talking about this one. So loss of enjoyment is the second reason, which is he speaks until verse number 35. Okay. Why is he now referring to Krishna as Govinda? Very nice, good point. Thanks for reminding it. So Govinda, there are two meanings of the word, the name Govinda. Anybody knows? So who takes care of cows? Yes, so that is one. And the word go in Sanskrit also means senses. Okay, so the one who gives pleasure to your senses means Govinda. Okay, so now why is he using that? Oh Govinda, you are supposed to give pleasure to my senses. But look at this situation. You have put me in a situation where I'm supposed to fight, and I'm going not to not going to get any pleasure. And forget this, even if I win the kingdom, I'm not going to get any pleasure. Oh Govinda, what kind of a pleasure giver are you? Hmm? Oh Madhusudan, you are the killer of the demon named Madhu. But so many doubts have come to my mind. You need to kill them as well. Otherwise, I'm not going to fight. This is the meaning behind Madhusudan. Meaning, as we go forward, you will literally enjoy each and every word, even the smallest of the words. Cho also has its own meaning. And we'll speak about it.
Janardhan is.
Yes, correct. Janardhan, did he speak in the previous?
That does. Yeah.
Oh, maintainer of living entity. Yeah, good. Thanks for highlighting. So maintainer of Janardhan has two meanings. Ardhan meaning to kill. And the killer of people. Jana meaning people. So the killer of people is called Janardhan. But Janardhan is also called as maintainer of people. Okay. So now this is a duplicate kind of double meaning word, not duplicate. So, which says that you are supposed to be the maintainer of all living entities, but you are making me kill all these people. What kind of a maintainer are you?
One point he has said that Abhi Drive of Kirat.
Yeah, yeah. So that is with the three words. Yeah, correct, correct. Now comes to the third reason, that is sinful reactions. Okay. So this it starts with papam. Okay. So let's read this translation. Yes.
Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kin?
So now Arjun has a fair amount of knowledge about Dharma Shastra, Artha Shastra, and all. So he understands the social aspect also of it. So that is why he uses this word called as Atatainaha. Okay. Papameva Shred Asman Hatvaitan Atatainaha. Yeah. Where is this one? Atataina. So Atatai meaning an aggressor. Aggressor meaning he performs certain actions, aggressive actions, which are supposed to be condemned, and the punishment should be nothing less than death. That is called as an aggressor. Prabhupada in the purport mentions these six aggressors. So first is one who gives poison. These are the six one. So one who gives poison to somebody, okay, he is an aggressor. He should also get death penalty. One who sets the fire of some other person to the house, fire to the house of another person. One who attacks with deadly weapons, meaning with the intent of killing. One who plunders the riches, so you take away the riches of somebody, so stealing. One who occupies another's land, and one who kidnaps a wife. Now, with whatever Mahabharata you all know and whatever we speak, can you relate at least one action of the Kauravas with some of these aggressors mentioned here? The Kauravas, they did two. One who sets fire to the house. Correct. When was that done? When they gave a wax palace to the Yes, correct. So that is number two done. So number one, no, we'll come to that. We'll start number one first. Yeah. Poison to Yes, correct. So Bhima was given poison by Duryodhan. So number one done. Setting fire to house, the Laksha Gruha incident. Three, attacking with deadly weapons. He has done multiple times. Plundering riches, Hastinapur, the palace, then all of that. Occupies another land. Hastinapur was done, and kidnapping the wife. Now you can mention who kidnapped whom. They, yes. So Pandavas meaning Draupadi was kidnapped, but was done by the brother-in-law of Duryodhan, whose name was brother-in-law was Jayadrath. Okay. So Jayadrath has a Dushala. Huh? So he has a big role to play in Mahabharata. Okay. And Jayadratha, when he did that, okay, Arjun finally brought Draupadi back, and then he was given punishment and all that. Look at the nature of Draupadi. Despite being kidnapped, she told Yudhishthir not to give him death punishment because Dushala is our sister. Killing him will make her widow, and that's not nice for our sister. So give him such a punishment that he will not repeat such an act again. But don't kill. Okay. Draupadi's magnanimity is understood even after this incident. In another incident, when Ashwathama killed all her five sons in one night, despite that, she forgave Ashwathama. Imagine this, the level of that lady. So all of these six were done by the Kauravas to the Pandavas. Arjun knows this philosophy. but still he is saying that although they are aggressors, if I kill them, I will be considered sinful. Papam eva shrayat. Okay, it's important to understand the word ashray. Yes.
If Arjuna tries to kill him, won't he be doing the third? Won't he be the third?
Yes, but this is there as a war, which is expected. You cannot uh, fight a war without deadly weapons. Your intention to fight a war, especially a dharmic war, is to kill the other person and establish dharma. In that case, you have to have weapons. This actually brings us to a point. Ram, Ram tried to follow peace-related, meaning proposals up till a certain point, giving chance to Ravan until the last moment. But he did not say, "Oh, meri bivi ko bhaga le gaya." That foolishness was not done by Ram.
Because it was done, like,
Of course.
to protect it.
Exactly, exactly. And the same teaching has been given by Krishna also to us, right? He tried to have peace until the very last moment. Even until the before on that very day, until before the start of the war, he was trying for peace. But he knew what would be the actual outcome. But he did not say ki nahi, non-violence is parama dharma. So these are the two scriptures from which we are supposed to learn, and not from people who misinterpret and communicate wrongly to the society. So our scriptures do not teach non-violence. They teach peace. But if violence is required to establish religious principles, so be it. Now, he knows that these aggressors are to be killed. He knows that. But still he's saying papam evashrayat. He's saying we will take the shelter of papa. So pap is personified here, and we are saying we'll be taking shelter of that, which means when do you take the shelter of somebody? Right? When you know that that person will protect us from some mishappenings, right? तो ये बोल रहा है कि इतना हो जाएगा कि the Mr. पाप, I will have to take shelter of him. इतना मैं बड़ा पाप करने वाला हूँ. It's just a personification, just for kind of such a big pap that I will have to go and take shelter of such a person named pap and ask for forgiveness. इतना बड़ा पाप करने वाला हूं मैं. That is what he is projecting. Okay. And now he is also calling Krishna as the husband of goddess of fortune, which is Madhav. Papa me vashre tasman hatvaitan atatainha tasman narha vayam hantum dharta rashtan sabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhina syama madhav. Madhav. Okay, so he is calling Krishna as the husband of Lakshmi Mata. Okay, now wherever Lakshmi Mata is, at least financially, there is prosperity. But wherever she is not there, prosperity doesn't exist. So what he is saying, sarcastically, he is calling Krishna ki bhai, you are the husband of goddess of fortune. If she exists, she is always with you, and wherever you are there, wherever she is there, prosperity always exists. How can prosperity exist when I am under the shelter of Mr. Pap? Hmm? Okay, then we'll go to verse 37 and 38. Translation. You want to read?
O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin?
Yes. So this is the concluding verse of the third reason, loss of, sorry, sinful reactions. Okay. Now he is saying their hearts are overtaken by greed. So now when something is overtaken by greed, okay, exactly, we do not see what is wrong, what is right. Karna hai matlab karna hai, right? And in such a scenario, if I have to kill somebody, even if I am wrong, I don't bother about it because I want to kill you because of XYZ reason. My heart is overtaken by greed. So now I do not see any fault in killing somebody, in killing even a family member for some certain personal benefit. But we are not like them. We are sober people. We are dharmic people. We know that killing somebody is going to be a cause of misfortune for not just that individual person, but for his family and his relatives, the society. And I may get punished. I will get pap in this life, in the next life, and that will be meaning bad for me also. So when we know this, when we understand Shastra, when we know the repercussions of committing a sinful activity, why should I be come under the same greed that they have and kill that person? They may not have the knowledge. That's why they are killing. But I know. Why should I kill? Right. So this is the third reason, sinful reactions. Yeah. Why I'm telling you this is each and every reason Krishna has addressed that in the second chapter, and the fourth reason partially has been addressed in the third chapter, meaning partially in second chapter and partially in third chapter. And the fifth reason, we will come to it, is addressed throughout whole Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So that was about verse 38. Now comes the start of the fourth reason. That is destruction of family tradition. Yeah. Okay. Let's read this. Yes. You want to read?
Yeah. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion.
Yeah. So this is a start of that reason, and it's a sequence of events that he talks about. So let us read the translation of the other ones also, then we will speak together. Yeah. Yes.
When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted. And from the degradation of womanhood,
What is it?
descendant of
Vrishni.
comes unwanted progeny.
What is progeny mean?
The subsequent generations.
Who is Vrishni?
Yeah, we will talk about it. What happens further then when the unwanted progeny happens? Yes, Prabhu.
Increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family traditions. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped.
Yes. Okay, one more, sorry, two more. Osherete Kulagnanam. Yes, please. You want to read?
Yeah. By the evil deeds of those who destroy family tradition and thus give rise unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated.
Devastated. So now, and then finally, what happened? Yes, please.
O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard
By disciples.
succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed will always be held.
So look at it. Now, what he has done, he started off with the destruction of family traditions. Okay. So how he is linking all of this, we need to understand. So the first thing is he knows that these sinful reactions are being caused because he is going to kill people. Now, when people are killed, what will happen? If not fully, but to a good extent, the dynasty will be killed, right? What happens with the destruction of dynasty? He is saying the family traditions, kula dharma. You might have heard this word before, right? Kula dharma, right? So kula devta, kula devi, kula dharma, right? So kula meaning the family, the dynasty, the ancestry. The tradition is vanquished. So let's say if I were sorry, not I, if some child were not to have the shelter of his parents and the teaching of his parents, what would happen? He will have no idea about the family traditions, right? He may learn something from the society, but that could be mixed. Different traditions exist in the society. He may not necessarily know what his specific tradition is, right? So the Somebody has joined, is it? Okay. So the family is more responsible in teaching traditions to us. Correct. So he is saying when the elders in the family are gone, family tradition will be lost because the knowledge will not be cascaded to the subsequent generation. So what happens then? Because you are not performing the traditional activities, that means there is a good chance you will not know what is supposed to be done, what is right, what is wrong, and you may perform the wrong activities, which means you are actually involved in irreligious activities. Right? Simple. It's just logical to understand. When you perform irreligious activities, what happens? When irreligion becomes prominent in the family, one of the most vulnerable sections of the society is women. They are supposed to be protected by men or by the society, by women also themselves. So they are supposed to remain protected, but they have a chance to become polluted. And we see that in the society also nowadays, right? So this, when the pollution happens, then what happens? Degradation can happen and unwanted progeny can happen, right? Now this unwanted progeny is not in terms of कि यार ये बच्चा काला दिखता है और ये गोरा दिखता है. It's not about that. It is about the culture. When the like we all know, right? Although we were born and staying with our parents, the most cultural knowledge has come to us from our mothers. The mothers are the cause of providing this knowledge and the umbrella that she gives. Hare Krishna. So the protection that she gives via this knowledge, it's coming more from the mother than from the father. So when this umbrella is not existing or that umbrella is irreligious, the child will obviously pick up irreligious knowledge, traditions, and activities. He will consider right to be wrong and wrong to be right. Now, because of that, what happens? When you have lost the traditions, your children have also lost traditional knowledge. Okay, the dharma aspect is missing. Kula dharma. This increase in unwanted population will cause hellish life for both the family and the family traditions also, and the people who destroy the family tradition. Now why family? Because they will perform irreligious activities that will create sinful reactions to them. It will create sinful reactions to the parents, to the society, to the ancestors, everybody. Now because of this, what will happen? The ancestors who have now gone to other planets, they will fall down. Okay, this may be a bit difficult concept to understand, but when we say that a person passes away, we do some Shraddha Vidhi. So Shraddha Vidhi is done on different days. Different traditions follow different days. Some people do it on the 10th or 11th or 12th or 13th and all that. So different activities are performed. This is to provide some kind of merit to that person so that even if he has committed incorrect activities, he can avoid the hellish punishment. Okay, so that he doesn't have to suffer for all of that. And like for example, I'm saying it fine because of xyz reasons, I am committing certain punya as an activity, but I'm dedicating that, offering that punya to you so that you don't have to go to the hellish planet and you can come back either on earth or go to the heavenly planets. Now if I stop all of this activity, there is a chance that my ancestors who are eligible to get this from me will not get it and will continue to suffer in the hellish planets. To this extent, he has gone to that thought process. So he's saying offering them food and water are entirely stopped. So you know, Lupta Pindo Daka Kriya is the word he uses here in the last one. Lupta Pindo Daka Kriya. Okay. Lupta meaning vanish. Pinda is the rice balls that we create. Udaka is water. Kriya is activity. So that activity of offering food, meaning rice and water to the ancestors will permanently stop. Then what will happen? So because the people who were the cause of the destruction of this family tradition, meaning he is referring to himself now. Okay, so he is going to kill the elders of the Kaurav family, because of which the uh, uh, later generations will not get the knowledge, the tradition will be lost, they will perform irreligious activities, they will go to hell, they will cause their ancestors to suffer in hell also, right? What will happen? Because of this activities, the welfare projects will be stopped in the society, all community projects. So when we see governments conduct various welfare projects, right? Letting the water come to each and every household via tap to get gas cylinders or to get whatever it is. So if somebody is ill, then his cost is being borne by the government and all that. So when the natural tendency is to perform sinful activity, then somebody else's welfare does not come into our mind. We always try to take benefit out of it for personal reasons. So he is saying that because this knowledge will be lost, community projects will be stopped, family welfare activities will be stopped, which means it is going to cause destruction to the society. So imagine the extent to which he has gone and thought about his actions. And finally, now he is linking that with himself. Oh Krishna, oh maintainer of the people. Again, using the word Janardhan. Huh? Because you are Janardhan, you are not supposed to let this happen. You are supposed to be maintaining and protecting people. I have heard from disciplic succession, very important point, and which we will touch upon many times during the whole of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, disciplic succession, parampara, that the family traditions, those who destroy them, these people dwell in hell permanently. Okay, the word is important here. He is saying the word always. What is this? Here. So niyatam is the word he has used here. Niyatam meaning eternally. Okay. Now, okay, we will technically analyze this word. Eternally meaning there is never a end to it. Okay. Okay. Now let's take a small example. Now we have these children in front of us, right? Let's say they do certain very good thing. What will you do? You will appreciate them. You will give them some gift and all that, right? Let's say one child scores 100% marks in a grade 5 exam. What you'll do? Probably give him a bicycle, some books to read, some games to play, and all that. The next day, he comes to you again. Papa, I got 100% in that exam. I want one more gift. We'll say again, okay, fine, take this, one more gift. Again, next day he will come. Papa, I got 100%. I want one more gift. Will you do give another gift? You probably yes, probably no. He does that for 10 days more, 1 month more, okay, 1 year more. He will keep asking every day, will you give it to him? No, you will say no. There was a limit to the benefit that or the rewards that you are supposed to get after you perform that good activity, right? So you will say no, the limit is finished now. Now if you do one more good activity, then I will give you one more good gift. Correct. Let's say that child performs some incorrect activity and you give some punishment. Will you punish the child again on the same next day? Why? Because you performed this wrong activity at 1 day before. Maybe yes, maybe no. Will you do that continuously every day for the next 1 month, 1 year, 10 years? No, there is a limit. So as there is a limit on the rewards for a good activity performed, there is a limit on the punishment for the sinful activities performed. Simple logic, correct? Now he is saying niyatam vaso. Vaso meaning to stay, reside. Where? Narake, in the hell. So he is saying my activities of destroying the family, the elders of the Kaurav family, and the loss of traditions and all are such grievous activities that I will reside in hell eternally. That is what he is saying. Okay. Now, again, let's look at it technically. I was chatting with some of my friends also, and we had a nice, interesting conversation. Good, nice viewpoints from both the sides come. So the point was, if there is a limit to the punishment that I can get for committing sinful activities, or a limit to the reward that I get for committing nice, pious activities, how can the incorrect sinful activities that I perform in this life, which has its own limit, how can the punishment to these activities be unlimited, and how can I be eternally damned by God because of limited sinful activities performed? Similarly, if I perform some pious activities on earth here, how can I eternally reside in heaven and enjoy unlimited pleasures in heaven for a limited activity performed? So this is some food for thought, right? What he is highlighting here is not eternal damnation. He is saying the magnitude of my sinful activities is so vast, so it is unlimited, because of which I will reside in hell in an unlimited for an unlimited time. So sometimes this word is misused or misunderstood by people stating that in Bhagavad Gita also talks about eternal damnation, but that is not the case.
What do you call that eternal damnation in Hindi or Sanskrit?
We do not have such concept. Okay, that's why we do not have a word for that.
It's just saying that because of the multiple actions that will.
Yeah, so meaning he is saying that I am going to commit such a grievous activity, boundless grievous activity, unlimited. So that's why, because the sins are unlimited, my punishment will also be unlimited. So he is trying to emphasize the magnitude of the mistake that he is going to commit on the war by fighting. Okay. So now verse number 44. Yeah, please.
Friends, it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kings.
So he uses a word called as mahat papam. Ahopata mahat papam. So it is so grievous, this sinful activity, that I am driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. So what he is saying that he is thinking at a physical platform, saying that I am gathered here with all of these people only to get back my kingdom and enjoy my kingdom. There is nothing more to war than getting back the kingdom and enjoying it. Yeah, completely materialism, right? So only because we are driven by this desire, we do not care that we are killing our own people to get this happiness. Now comes his conclusions now. Verse number 45 and 46. Yeah. Yes, please. Oh, sorry.
Better for me if the son of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to carry me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield.
Yeah. So he uses the word Dhartarashtra. Dhritarashtra is the name, and Dhartarashtra is the vocative address to the sons of Dhritarashtra. So he's saying better than killing my own people and causing such a big harm, loss of enjoyment, sinful reactions, and destruction of dynasty, and so many things. It is better than this if the sons of Dhritarashtra, with weapons in hand, they kill me unarmed and unresisting in the battlefield. Why this is important? General code of conduct in such wars was such that you will fight your equals only. So if a person is much stronger than you, okay, that stronger person will not fight with you. You may choose to fight with him, but the stronger person will voluntarily not fight with you. If you choose to continue fighting, he may fight with you. But if a person is unarmed, then with the weapons in hand, you cannot fight with him. If you want to still fight, you have also to give up the weapons and then fight unarmed with each other. And on top of that one, I may be unarmed, you may be unarmed, but I do not want to fight with you. I'm not resisting you. What is the reason for you to fight with me? In such a scenario, you cannot fight with me. So these were the general codes of conduct, and the same codes of conduct were agreed between Kaurav army and Pandav army before the war started, that एक निहत्थे के साथ युद्ध नहीं होगा. You will not fight a person who is without weapons in hand. And he is saying that even if they were to kill me unarmed and unresisting, it is still better for me than me killing the people over there and causing such a big havoc to the whole society.
But it will not be better for the other ones, karma, right? If they do ahimsa, if they do hinsa on the person who is doing ahimsa, so it will not be, it's not go with the dharma, right?
Yeah, correct. But he is saying that they are driven by greed. That is the reason they do not know what is right, what is wrong.
They are driven by
Of course.
the dharma.
Yes.
They have already displayed that they are following in the dharma.
Correct.
They have captured the land, they're
Correct.
killing, they're poisoning. So why did they follow these?
Exactly. And they will not follow. He knows that. But he's still saying, in spite of this, it is still better if they were to kill me. Why? Meaning they could be held responsible for the sins committed.
Yes.
And causing the destruction to the dynasty, but at least I will not be held responsible for that. So he's thinking from his perspective. Yeah.
And because of that, he's assuming that they would be ready to do
They
that.
would be ready to do that.
They're not going to follow the rules.
Correct.
But isn't Arjuna Kshatriya, right?
Yes.
Isn't it his duty also
Of course.
to
fight.
the
Of course.
right?
Yes. So I completely agree. And that is what Krishna also highlights in the second chapter when he starts speaking. At this point of time, Arjuna is completely overwhelmed with compassion. He is not at all thinking from any benefit or longer term benefit perspective. He's thinking only from the short term impact that the war can cause. That is the reason why he is under this situation, which is the reason why Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita.
Also, did he have this reasoning with Yudhishthir as well?
No.
It was only with Krishna.
Yeah, correct, exactly. So first,
Exactly.
uh,
Why didn't he
so
confront his brothers?
he did not come under these kind of emotions until Krishna brought the chariot in the middle of the armies. So one point which we did not speak about was the usage of the word pashya. Okay, so if you see from verses 30 onwards till 35, pashya, meaning to see, has been used at least 5 to 6 times by Arjun. Okay, and even Sanjay also says, and even Krishna also uses the word pashya. The problem is what our eyes convey to us when we see is not necessarily always the most perfect picture. So when there is a word called as jnana chakshu. Okay, Pashyanti Jnana Chakshushaha is the phrase used in 15th chapter by Krishna. Jnana Chakshu meaning seeing with the eyes of knowledge. When you see with the eyes of knowledge, you're not misled by what your eyes convey to you, which is precisely the mistake Arjun did. He could see only from a physical aspect, not from the eyes of Shastra. And that is the reason he is in this situation. Now, the last verse of this chapter, you want to read? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sanjay said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief.
So this is the conclusion that Arjun. Oh, you saw this one. I didn't realize this. Okay. So Arjun is now, sorry, Sanjay is now concluding the situation to Dhritarashtra. So what do you think are the emotions of Dhritarashtra after hearing this? He is extremely happy. So he knows that if at all there is one person who can defeat the Kaurav army, it's Arjun. And the greatest archer, the biggest of the the fighter of Pandav army is coming to such a conclusion. I do not want to fight. Gave so much happiness to Dhritarashtra, and so he think abhi to war mein to jeet gaya. Okay? But Sanjay brings him down in verses 9th and 10th of the second chapter. He levels him down, and we will see it. So now, important point to notice, he cast aside his bow and arrows. Sasharam chapam is the word used there. And and he sat down. Okay. So sitting down has two meanings. One is to physically and to give up something and sit down. Yeah. Taking a step back and to say basically, I give up this situation on this situation. And that is why Krishna uses in the 41st and 42nd verse of the fourth chapter, he mentions Uttishtha, get up and fight. Yeah. And get up and fight meaning get up morally, emotionally also and physically also. So this finishes first chapter. Anybody has any questions, comments? Nothing? Sajid, Rao, any question from your side?
Uh, Nothing, Sachin. Please continue.
Okay. Okay, fine.
About the aggressors, actually, was there any reference of Ramayana or Ravan when you mentioned about the kidnap of the wife?
Oh, no, no. So this was specifically what, because Arjun is speaking that these are aggressors. They deserve to be killed, but I will still not kill them because it will cause me a sinful reaction. So his knowledge was based on Dharma Shastra, but his knowledge was not based on Artha Shastra. Artha Shastra talks about punishments to be given. His knowledge was not based on that. But because it is applicable to the current situation, uh, Ravan's reference was not applicable. So are you comfortable for me to start second chapter, or it is an overdose of information? We can, right? All okay? All okay? Okay.
How long will this discourse last?
There are different versions of this estimation.
Yeah.
Some people say it lasted for 45 minutes. Some people say it lasted for 2 hours. Okay. Practically speaking, we wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
Because nobody would have recorded. Because what has got recorded in the Shastra is what is of critical importance for us, for our knowledge. So, meaning we also asked this question, but the answer we received was different answers were there. But finally, it ended up saying that it practically doesn't matter whether it lasted for 45 minutes or when.
Yeah.
So when I speak whole of Bhagavad Gita, beta, sit down. So when I speak whole of Bhagavad Gita, it takes me around 1.5 hours. So if Krishna with his speech ability were to speak 45 minutes would easily be possible for him. And to think that they would have taken even much longer also would not be practical because all others are waiting for this discourse to complete and to start the war. So it has to be limited in terms of providing the knowledge plus also not taking too long also. So I think 45 minutes could be, or 1.5 hours maximum could be sensible. Oh, so okay. So anybody from online wants to read the translation? Sajid Rao. Verse number
Yeah.
1. Yes, Sajid.
Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears. Madhusudana,
Krishna.
Krishna spoke the following words.
Now, Sanjay continues from where he left off in the first chapter. Okay, very important point to note here is tam tatha krupaya vishtam. Krupaya, the word, is very important. Now, many people who do not read the Shastra but have the knowledge about the whole world and want to comment on Bhagavad Gita or Mahabharat, they mention that Arjun to डर गया था. उसको झगड़ा फाइटिंग करना नहीं था, अर्जुन डर गया था, कृष्णा ने उसको संभाल लिया. Arjun was not scared at all. The thought of fear did not even touch him. Neither Krishna says that, nor Arjun says by himself, nor Dhritarashtra says, nor Sanjay says, nor Vyasdev writes in any manner, nor Duryodhan ever considered him to be scared at all. They knew they are heroic fighters. And this is confirmed by the usage of the word kripaya. So Sanjay is saying that because of compassion, his mind was depressed and his eyes were full of tears, and that's why he did not want to fight. So to think that Bhim and Arjun kind of warriors would be scared of people like Bhishma or Drona or Duryodhan would be a misunderstanding. Okay. So his mind is depressed. Now, so many thoughts have come to his mind. He is in such a situation that he thinks that there are no answers to this question. He thinks he is right. He thinks that because of these, there is no point in fighting at all. Okay. So he's now Krishna now starts speaking in the next verse. Okay. But there is a difference. The words that Krishna speaks now and the words that he speaks in the 11th verse are of a different level. And we will understand that. Okay. Now he is talking as a friend of Arjun. In the 7th verse, Arjun surrenders to him as a disciple. After which, when he starts speaking again in the 11th verse, that is the time he speaks as a guru of Arjun. Both are different. The roles are different. The messages differ. The gravity also differs. Now, it's a kind of a casual talk that Krishna starts. Okay, so let's read this one. Utastva kashmalamidam. Yeah, this verse. So Shrimai Rao, anybody wants to read verse number 2?
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy.
Yeah. So now the master craftsman of Bhagavad Gita has started speaking. Okay. Does anyone remember if there was any word or verse spoken by Krishna in the first chapter? No. So who all spoke at least one verse in the first chapter? Arjun, right? Arjun. So Krishna did not speak a single word in.
No, not was, but he said.
Yes.
He did.
Yes. In the 25th verse, he says, after bringing the chariot in front of both the armies, Hey Arjun, see, Pashya. He says, see both the Kurus arrayed in the battlefield. He says that, but that speech is conveyed via Sanjay, not as Shri Bhagwan Uvaj. But now he speaks and it is spoken by himself directly. Now, do you notice when Dhritarashtra spoke the first verse, it was Dhritarashtra Uvacha. When Sanjay spoke the second verse and the later also, it is Sanjay Uvacha. When Arjun started speaking in the 21st verse, it was Arjun Uvacha. But इधर क्या है, व्यासदेव ने मिस्टेक किया लगता है, right? So did Vyastev make a mistake saying that it is Shri Krishna Uvacha hona chahiye tha? So he is Bhagavan. Okay, there is a deep, very deep meaning to the word Bhagwan. There is a far, far bigger philosophical aspect to the word Bhagwan. Okay, as we go forward in the Bhagavad Gita, we will speak about it. But in a very nutshell, okay, people have an idea about God, but people think, at least some people think that because they cannot see God, they think God is formless. Okay, so this is the formless worship of God. So in the 11th verse of the second chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that God is realized, the absolute truth is realized in three different phases. The first, which is the bottom phase, or even I would say, even before that, there is a lowest phase. It is to assume that God does not exist, is to be a atheist, to think that God does not exist. That is the lowest. Then there are people above them who think that God exists, but because I cannot see God, I think that God is formless. Right? That is the Brahman level knowledge. Then there is another higher level which says that God exists, but I can feel his presence in my heart, which is called as the Paramatma realization, the next higher level realization. And then there is the highest level of realization, which is called as Bhagwan realization. Okay. And Krishna mentions that throughout Bhagavad Gita, in various verses, that he and the Paramatma is same. Okay. He is kind of, he is present throughout the world in every atom in the form of Paramatma. So he says that Ekam Shena Sthito Jagat. I, with a single fragment of myself, I pervade the entire universe. This is 10.42. He says that. Now, the Bhagwan level is the highest, the topmost level, and that is who is speaking now here. Okay. Now, although it is as a friend of Arjun that Krishna is speaking, still Vyastev does not translate it to be Shri Krishna Uvach or Arjun Sakha Uvach. Nothing like that. Whatever Krishna does, whatever Krishna speaks, however he speaks, whenever he speaks, to whomever he speaks, he is still the Bhagavan. Whether he is the husband of Lakshmi Mata, whether he is the husband of Rukmini Mata, whether he is the charioteer of Arjun, whether he is a ordinary person like behavior he had displayed in the Rajasuya Yajna which Yudhishthir did, where he washed the feet of various sages and kings who had come for that sacrifice. He washed the feet. Still he is Bhagwan. He picked up the half-eaten plates, the jhutha plate of the people who came there, and still he is Bhagwan. He may run around fearing Yashoda Mata, okay, with the Damodar Lila, with seeing the stick in her hand, he ran in the garden. Still, he is Bhagwan because every activity that he performs is a transcendental activity, which means it does not have a tinge, even a tinge of the three modes of material nature, the Sattvagun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. We will come to all these deeper aspects when we speak about it, but I'm just trying to give you a synopsis of what the word Bhagwan means. Okay.
Prabhuji, one doubt. What is the meaning of Paramatma?
So Paramatma is the one that who is seated in our heart. Okay. He is constantly with the Atma. Okay. Why he is Paramatma? Because he is Param Atma. Okay. He is the supreme of all. That's why he is Paramatma. So when a soul moves from one body to another at death, the Paramatma, along with its Sukshma Sharij, Man, Buddhi, Ahankar, accompanies from one body to another. So Paramatma does not, even when if a soul goes to the hell, Paramatma is still with the Atma. So now what is Bhagwan saying? Kutastva kashmalamidam. Yes. For what purpose is he going is important. Okay. So in the 33rd verse of 9th chapter, Krishna says, Hey Arjun, declare it boldly, my devotee never perishes. Okay. Which means Name Bhakta Pranashyati. He says, nothing will happen to my devotee ever. So, as a matter of punishment, a devotee will not go. But if a devotee does not understand and come back to the right uh, path, then Krishna, just to ensure that he learns from this punishment, he does not repeat the mistake, Krishna can do that. Okay. So what is he saying? Kutasva kashmala midam. Okay. Kashmala meaning the dirt in the mind. The thoughts that have come to Arjun, Krishna calls it as dirt in your mind. Okay. Where have they come from? You are not like this one. You are a very solid fighter, a kind of a great fighter who have defeated the whole of Kaurava army in the battle of Virat. What kind of thoughts are coming to your mind? ये क्या है करके? Vishame samupasthitam, meaning in this hour of crisis, I gave that example last time. World Cup final cricket match चल रहा है. India is playing against either Australia, South Africa, Pakistan, कोई तो है. And first ball will be bowled, and now the top batsman, let's say for example Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli, आके बोलता है अरे मुझे शोएब अख्तर को देख के या इसको देख के डर लग रहा है करके, हाँ, या मैं नहीं फाइट करूंगा, बॉल को मारेगा तो इट इज अ सिंफुल एक्टिविटी. Just sort of meaning, I know it is nonsense that I'm speaking, but just to give some idea. But these thoughts, when they come at such a time of the match or in this hour of crisis, they are not expected from a person like Arjun. And because of this one, he is saying, where have these come from at this point of, at this hour of crisis? Not expected from you. Okay. What happens because such thoughts come? Anarya Jushtam, unarya. So you would have heard this word Aryan, right? Yeah, Aryan. So, okay, again, history stuff, I'll avoid going into it. But Arya is supposed to be a person who understands the value of life, right? Who understands the value of life, who understands the purpose behind it. And when he works towards the purpose of life, then he is considered to be a Aryan. Okay. He is saying anarya, meaning a negation of the Arya aspect. People who do not understand the value of life, only then they make statements like this one. Okay. Asvargyam, you cannot go to heavenly planets, you cannot achieve Swarga with such kind of thoughts in your mind. Okay. Very important to note, we will come to this particular word throughout Bhagavad Gita. Why Swarga? Okay, according to you, going to Swarga is good or bad? Good. Good? Good? Good. Everybody thinks good? Everybody? You also think good? Okay. I am saying it is bad. Okay. And we will discuss about this in detail. Why Swarga is bad.
Oh yeah. Another small hint. Is it because we have to have rebirth and moksha?
Exactly. Exactly.
Till the moksha.
Okay. So now since we are on this topic, just a small hint. Okay. Detail may we will speak about it. Okay. Atma, when Krishna speaks about it, Atma is not made up of earth, water, air, fire, ether. Correct? Atma is subtle. Atma is spiritual. Correct? So you are a soul. You have been given this body. This body is made up of 25 elements. We will go to it in the detail. Some of which you know, five senses we have, right? And five sense organs we have. Eyes have a sense of vision, and through eyes we are able to see. Nose have a sense of smell, and through nose we can smell. So nose is the sense organ, the sense is the smell. Correct. The Atma gathers this knowledge and perceives these surroundings via this body. So Atma does not have an ability to perceive anything material by itself. To perceive that, it requires a body. So that's why you would see ghosts. Ghosts do not have a body, but they want to perform certain activities. They are unable to perform because they do not have a body. So, hold on. So these, so this, when somebody, okay, let's say, so when the person dies, what happens? His body is cremated, different methods of cremation, but end objective is body is lost. Atma is not lost. Atma remains, right? But Atma, can it be punished? If I were to say, okay, Atma, you burnt somebody's house, I will burn you now. But Atma cannot get burnt. तो आत्मा को वो बर्निंग का फीलिंग देने के लिए he has to be given a body. Now that body has to be related to the surrounding. If you give a human body to a person who is supposed to stay inside water, वो नहीं रह पाएगा. So that's why he has to be given a fish body, or a bird body, or an insect body, or a tree body, or this body, that body. So that means different types of bodies which can survive a different type of environment and be able to suffer for the sins as well as enjoy the pious activities performed. ये सारा मैं एक बहुत एकदम हाई लेवल पे बोल रहा हूँ. We'll go into detail. Now, if somebody were to send a soul to hell, उसको क्या punishment देंगे? ये सोल को तो बॉडी है ही नहीं, तो सोल को तो आप जला नहीं सकते हो, कुछ नहीं कर सकते, तो सोल को पनिशमेंट क्या देंगे? So that's why a body which is suitable for that environment, by which he can suffer for the sins committed, the punishment can be given, is that such a body is given to the soul. Okay, and जब उसका वो stay of the hell is finished, he has to give up that body and then come back either to earth or another hell or a heaven or wherever it is. Similarly, when a person is sent to heaven to enjoy for the pious activities committed, he has to take up another body over there. He enjoys via that body and then comes back to earth, then continues his journey. Okay, so roaming around from earth to heaven to hell to earth to heaven to hell is the journey within the material world. The moksha which you refer to is going beyond this material world is moksha. So when you get moksha, you are outside the janma mrityu chakra, cycle of janma mrityu. That's why heavenly planet, although it is glorified in the society, it is bad according to Bhagavad Gita. And one last example देता हूं मैं आपको. Okay, if your son has an ability to score 100 marks in maths, if he comes back with 94, 90, what will you do?
Not much.
No, yes, celebrate. Correct. Agreed. Because 90, yes, 90 is good, definitely, right? But will you call it excellent?
No.
No, right? If that child scores just 40 marks, bad, right? Right?
We'll punish him.
No. No. Okay. So scoring 40 is bad. Scoring 90 is good. Nobody says it is bad marks, but it is not excellent. Excellent is 100, right? Right? So that way, going to Swarga is good. Nobody says it is bad. Compared to going to hell is far better. But is it excellent? No. Why? Because you remain within this mortal world, continue roaming around this Janma Mrityu Sansar Chakra. Okay, we will touch up on these topics in detail. Okay, I know Meaning last time I may have said this one. Our society has taught us many things. Okay. Now, many of these things do not align with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So if I were to say ये सब तुमने गलत सीखा है, तो you will not come for the next class. So I will not do that. But let Krishna himself teach us through Bhagavad Gita what is right, what is excellent, what is good, what is bad. Then we will understand these topics well.
Yeah, that's one question.
Yes, please.
What exactly moksha means? What happens to that soul?
So there are two bodies that a living entity gets. So the living entity is the soul. So there is something called as Sukshma Sharir and there is called as Sthula Sharir. Sukshma Sharir is made up of subtle elements. Subtle elements meaning which do not have physical characteristics. Okay, and then the Sthula Sharir is made up of Jada elements, which is physical elements. So somebody can feel my body. Somebody can see my body, somebody can smell my body, somebody can touch my body. So this physical body can be perceived from five different senses: eyes, nose, senses meaning the vision, the smell, the touch, and all of this, right? It has physical characteristics. But if I ask you, what is the weight of your mind? Yeah. And how much, how tall is your intelligence? Okay. What is the color of your mind? You can't answer that because mind does not have these characteristics. Intelligence does not have this character. Ego does not have this character. These are called as Sukshma Sharir. So this Sukshma Sharir, along with the Paramatma and various other factors, which we'll come to when we come to Dhyan Yoga section of the sixth chapter, they carry from one life, one body to another. But the Sthula Sharir, the Jada Sharir, this physical body remains in this life, is destroyed. Okay. So the moksha aspect is not when I leave this material body. The moksha aspect comes when I leave this sukshma sharir, which is when a soul eh, goes outside the mortal world, the material world. That time it leaves its sukshma sharir. The man, buddhi, and ahankar are left or given up in this material world, and the atma is transported to the spiritual world. That is moksha. Another word for moksha is mukti. What does mukti mean in English? Freedom. What does freedom mean? Meaning you are currently tied up with something, and when you are untied, you become free. What are you tied up with? The sthula sharir and the sukshma sharir. So when you give up all of this, you become free. That freedom is called as mukti. Okay. Fine. So anarya jushtam aswargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. Krishna is saying, I'll just we have already crossed 5 o'clock. So I think just one last point. Akirtikaram. So this will bring you infamy. It will not take you to higher planets. It will lead you to infamy. Why Krishna is saying aswargyam? Even if he knows that swarga is bad, why is he saying so? Moksha to anyway nahi milega after going to swarga. So why?
Was saying
Exactly.
to those items.
Fantastic. Yes. So Arjun's questions are at a certain level. तो वो क्या बोल सकते हैं कि grade 10, grade 12 या ग्रेजुएशन के लेवल पे क्वेश्चंस. तो आज कृष्णा at this point of time is answering at that level. So until verse 37 of this second chapter, Krishna answers Arjuna ko at his level. Then Krishna uplifts him and brings up his level higher from verse 38, 39 onwards.
That is when he surrenders and becomes his disciple.
No. Surrender happens in the 7th verse itself.
So right now we are talking as counterparts and friends.
Okay. So there are two levels of conversation. One is before his surrender and one is after his surrender. So the second and third verse is before his surrender. The whatever he speaks from 11th verse is after his surrender. Okay, so that is when he speaks as a guru. Now, when the guru starts speaking, he has to answer the questions raised by the disciple. So he has asked 5 questions. Okay, first 4 of which are answered from verse 231, 211 till 237. Partially it is answered in third chapter also. But the 5th question is answered throughout Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Now the 5th question is about indecision. I am not able to decide what is right for me, what is wrong for me. I am not able to decide, should I fight, should I not fight, what should I do? That question Krishna answers over the remaining 17 chapters. But the first 4 questions that Arjuna had asked were at a very fundamental level, basic level. जब बच्चा स्कूल में जाता है तो कैसे सवाल पूछेगा? So that kind of questions Arjuna is asking, and Krishna is coming down to his level to answer those questions. But Krishna knows that he has to give a higher level knowledge. So Krishna uplifts him to a higher level, and then usko higher level का ज्ञान देना चालू होता है. So we'll stop here now, and we can probably continue in the next class. Anybody has any question? Do you think the pace of the class was
Sachin,
good? Hello?
Sachin, this moksha and mukti is same as death.
No, 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 no. Death is only the loss, or I would say giving up of the physical body, the current body that we have. Moksha is the giving up of sukshma sharir also. To leave this material world entirely, completely, that is moksha or mukti. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we will speak. Yeah, this topic, I will even extend it further. Is moksha the ultimate stuff, according to you?
No, so what does the soul look like?
Okay, we will speak. No, this is a good question. This is a good question. Krishna answers this from verse 26 till 30. He answers it. So, but what do you think? Is moksha the ultimate?
Yes.
And this is what our society has taught us. So there is nothing wrong even if your answer is not matching Bhagavad Gita.
That is what I understand. That say it's moksha, it's like you are. It's not what
Correct, correct.
all desires, everything,
Correct.
and you are.
Correct. So we will learn from Krishna what he says. And moksha is not the best. And there is more than moksha. Now, if I ask you which moksha, will you be able to answer?
Which?
So there are 5 types of moksha. Salokya, Sarshti, Samipya, Sarupya, and Sayujya.
Sayujya.
Right? So these are the 5 types of mukti. You will. Right. So what I'm trying to say is the knowledge level of Bhagavad Gita is miles above the knowledge level of the society. Okay. So there is always a chance that we may have heard half knowledge, half truth. I mean, so many people say about Krishna is the avatar of Vishnu. Is it a correct statement or a wrong statement? Correct statement. Correct statement, you think? So now.
Many people that's not right.
Yeah, meaning my questioning style should not give you hints of interpretation. Okay. But when we hear such statements and we ask them, which Vishnu are you referring to? Then there is no answer. So because many people think that it is one single Vishnu, but Shastra teaches us Vishnus tu Trini Rupani. There are 3 different Vishnus. Okay. And it is spoken not just in Bhagavad Gita to a small extent. Bhagavatam describes it in detail. Brahma Samhita talks about it. Chaitanya Charitamrita takes it to the highest level possible in terms of knowledge. So what I'm trying to highlight is you will come across lot of surprises while studying Bhagavad Gita, but we should take it in the matter that it is Krishna who is speaking Bhagavad Gita. There cannot be anything more truthful than Krishna's statement. So society learns from its own experiences, learns from various other scriptures, interprets it in its own manner, but may not necessarily be the final truth. Bhagavad Gita, you will know. And I am speaking out of my, profound respect for Bhagavad Gita. इससे ज्यादा आपको कुछ सुपर वैसा नॉलेज मिल ही नहीं पाएगा. हरे कृष्णा. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Chalo, Sajid Rao, thank you very much for
Thank
joining.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prakhyan.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.